like to welcome right over here the Interim Director of Athletics from Florida A&M, is Michael Smith. Thank you for being here. I also want to welcome Jesse Watson and Alicia Blundeen, Champions First Credit Union, title sponsor of the event. A couple notes on the event. Like I said, it's Sunday, 26th of October, this coming Sunday. If you take a look at the flyers on your desk, there are some links for the tickets. Tickets are on sale and going fast. We're also going to retire Charlie's jersey in football. Research shows that there aren't many two-sport student athletes who have had their jerseys retired. One that I want to draw attention to, Jackie Robinson from UCLA, who also played football and basketball at UCLA. His number is retired across.
That's pretty good company.
His number is retired across all teams at UCLA. So I'd like to turn the program over to my head coach, Coach Loucks, if we could have an opening statement from you, and then we'll pass it on to Charlie.
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys for coming. I know there's a lot going on right now in the middle of the football season and multiple sports, so appreciate you guys spending some time with us to promote this game. I'm really excited about this game. As a student athlete at Florida State, I never had the opportunity to play against FAMU, and we knew all those guys. We would hoop up and play pickup with them, but we never were able to play. So part of getting this job, I already wanted to get that game on the schedule because I just think it's great for Tallahassee. It's great for our communities to celebrate both programs and how competitive we can be. But then obviously when Charlie got the job, it moved to the front of my list. I grew up a massive, as most kids in Florida did, a massive Charlie Ward fan. And then getting to know him over the past several years, it has been a true blessing. He's one of the all-time great athletes in collegiate athletics, and had an unbelievable professional career as a basketball guy who grew up playing football. He was the epitome of what it looks like to do it the right way. And obviously he won on the basketball court, he won on the football field, and he both had individual accolades and team success, which to me is the greatest thing you can do. Aside from that, to even go further, Charlie is one of the best human beings I know. Take all his athletic endeavors away, and he's still a good man. And so I'm just so excited for him and the job he's going to do at FAMU. I hope this game is something that we can continue and eventually, maybe get on the regular season non-conference schedule. But for us to celebrate both of our programs, celebrate the city of Tallahassee, and then ultimately hang Charlie's jersey in the rafters where it's belonged for a long time, is something that I'm really excited and fortunate to be a part of.
Turn over to you, Charlie.
Well, I guess unlike Luke, I did compete against FAMU on the court at the Tucker Center almost 34 years ago. That's a long time, but just grateful for this opportunity to be able to be back at the Tucker Center in a different capacity, but with a lot of great emotions and memories that I was able to have while there. And one of the things when I got the opportunity to be at FAMU was to make sure that we got this game on the schedule, because I think it's just a great opportunity for both universities and the city to be able to come together because of what happened 34 years ago. And so this is just a great blessing for me to be a part of it all. And then on top of it, to get honored the way that I'm being honored was not the reason why I came to Florida State to get my name or my jersey retired, but that's just a byproduct of the work and the teammates and the coaching that I was able to receive, and God gave me this opportunity to be able to have a platform. And so I'm just grateful that I have an opportunity to be able to do it 34 years later. And of course, it'll be a little emotional when it's all said and done because of all the great memories that I've been able to have and the people. The people that I like to highlight, two coaches mainly, Coach Bobby Bowden and Coach Pat Kennedy, because they gave me an opportunity to be able to play both sports, which is very uncommon for coaches to work together in two major sports, to give me an opportunity to do something that I dreamed of doing. And so I'm just grateful for those two coaches for working things out. In this day and age, that's not an easy thing to do. But there's their collaboration for the student athlete, which I think Luke has the same heart, is what can we do to help our student athletes achieve their goals? And that's our main goal for our programs, and this is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing on Sunday.
Okay, we'll take questions. Raise your hand and I'll come to you.
Not all at once.
Liam from the Democrat.
This one goes just for both you guys. You kind of touched on it, but for Luke, for this to be your first one at home, at coaching on the sidelines and Eagles play against Alabama, what does it mean to not just welcome in FAMU, but to welcome Charlie? And then Charlie, you kind of touched on it there, but getting to come back into Tucker Center as a head coach instead of, as a player or as a fan, to be on the sidelines and, as you mentioned, a different capacity. What does that feel like?
Yeah, I think for both of us, it'll be the first time coaching in a gym we played in. And I think that alone is special, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of whether it's an exhibition, preseason, regular season, post, it doesn't matter. I think that in its own capacity is pretty cool for me, and I'm sure Charlie's gonna feel it on the sideline too. A lot of those memories come back, a lot of those games we competed in. And now to do it as a coach and a leader of young men, I think is going to be special for me. And then add on the additional, unique opportunity of hanging Charlie's jersey in the rafters where it belongs, and getting to compete against a crosstown school that we both care about each other in our universities. I think it's the absolute best case scenario for me to raise awareness for our programs, to build them in the way in which we want to build our programs, and hopefully we can do it in front of a sold out crowd. So I think it's a great opportunity for our young guys to play their first game at home.
Yes, I mean, we're kind of in the same boat, just working to build what we've worked to establish over these last couple of months that we've been together, and then to be able to come back, for me, to come back to the place where I've called home for a long time. When I was walking in, my son Caleb was like, I feel awkward in these colors on this campus. And so I'll be in the same boat, was in the same boat walking up today, and I'm sure I'll be in the same boat on Sunday. But I'm sure Luke has done this before, where he's played somewhere and he's gone back, and it's just different. But once you get over those emotions and different things, you still have to go out and do your job. And hopefully the game is competitive. I gotta tell them we're gonna show up and compete. I don't know what the outcome's gonna be, but our goal is to show up and compete, and then live with the results. And so I'm just happy that we have an opportunity to be able to do it.
Christine?
For both of you guys, just the goal of building the basketball community here in Tallahassee, kind of in a unified front. Just speak on that, if you would.
Well, this is a great start to the unification. As I mentioned, 34 years ago, that we were scarred from this game, but just grateful that we're able to put it back together, because we're in different places. I get asked that question all the time about what are the players going to do. I mean, players weren't even born. Someone wouldn't even thought about what they really thought about when everything happened. But I'm just grateful that our guys get an opportunity to be in this environment. We're working to try to put them in different types of environment, give them different experiences, very similar to how we have had experiences while we were here or while we played. This gives them an opportunity. I don't know how many, I know it'll be sold out, we're gonna claim that. And I don't know how many opportunities we'll get a chance to play in front of a big crowd like this. We will go in some gyms where it will be sold out, but we probably won't have as many as we will have on Sunday. So this is just another blessing for our guys to be able to put this experience in their lives.
Yeah, Chris, I try to live in reality. Tallahassee is a football town, and most likely always will be. And I grew up a Florida State football fan, and so I'm cheering my behind off as much as all of you guys are to hopefully get their success with Florida State football back to where it needs to be. With that being said, I just think this town, when they have good basketball, erupts, and I've experienced it on a smaller scale. When we were here, we won ACC championships in football, ACC championships in basketball, and we were always competing to try to be one of those top 10, top 15 schools in the country. And I know Charlie's going to do the same thing at FAMU to try to go win conference championships and get their institution in a place where he knows it can go. So I just think this town respects winning. They respect competitive teams, and they respect teams that compete for championships. And that's what hopefully in our chairs we're able to bring to this town with regards to basketball, and also do that as our football team, you know, rightens the path and gets to where they want to go as well.
Next question comes from St. Clair.
So given that the Lawson Center is a pretty beautiful basketball facility that Charlie can attest to, what's the chances of this becoming a home and home kind of arrangement in the future?
Charlie, did you tell him to ask that?
I'll pay you back later.
Charlie, he's been adamant that he would like us to return the game. From my seat, I would love to at some point. With regards to the history of this game, obviously a lot of the people I report to would like to see this go smoothly, and I'm sure the same with Charlie's side and FAMU. But at some point, I hope this is a crosstown deal where we can show that, hey, these two schools, although we'll compete when the ball tips up, are completely in support of each other. I want Charlie to win more than anyone, and I'm sure he feels the same way about our program having his jersey hanging in our building. So I can't make any promises, but hopefully as this thing goes smoothly, as years continue, we would love to go play at your place as well.
Next question from Peter Holland.
First of all, Coach, how long you had that shirt? I'm kind of kidding.
I told Charlie outside, I saw someone on campus with this shirt. So we're riding on the golf cart. I pulled over. I'm like, "Where'd you get that?" Because I figured it was from picked or somewhere on campus. They gave me the website to order it, so I went home and ordered it. Completely forgot about it, right? And last night before I go to bed, I'm trying to, similar to Charlie, pick out what sport coat I'm gonna wear for the press conference. And my wife was like, "Why don't you wear your Charlie Ward shirt?" And I thought about it. I'm like, all right, that would actually be pretty cool. So this is the first time I have it on. It's got football, it's got basketball, PG quarterback. I just think it's a cool shirt. So I completely forgot I had it, but glad my wife reminded me.
That's timing. My other question is, what discussions you and Charlie had as far as trying to continue to elevate the content of today's college basketball? Like, what's something that you guys can just beat off each other and communicate to elevate the game?
Yeah, I think Charlie's already done it in his life. I never played at the level Charlie played in terms of more than a decade in the NBA. I've coached in the NBA at a pretty high level, but both of us have had those experiences in different capacities at the absolute pinnacle of basketball, right? I'll speak for myself and not for Charlie, but we're trying to bring some of that back with how we train these kids, both on the court and off the court, right? There's more than just the ball bouncing. There's real life things that they need to learn, and they need to become good men in the community and good husbands and good fathers. I know Charlie does that just from being around them. We're trying to do that with our program too. And through that, as you raise young men the right way, the basketball stuff tends to figure itself out. And I think that, I know for our team, I don't have any film on Charlie's team. I know some of their guys on their roster, but we got a really good bunch that's super competitive, but they're about the right things on and off the court. And that's how I'm gonna try to build my team every year that I'm sitting in this seat.
Well, we're in the same boat, but we do have film on. Because they're a national brand, so we got a chance of watch them compete against Alabama, which we saw enough to know that the game on Sunday will be one that we'll have to really prepare for because they have some really good players. And, you know, when it's all said and done, we're trying to win in life. You know, we talk about basketball and this is what we're doing. But they're also student athletes, so they have to go to class. But the choices that they make and that we make, you know, have a big effect on life as in a whole. So we have to learn all the different lessons, whether we win on the court, we lose on the court, we got to win in life by making good choices and also just learn from both. You know, there's going to be opportunities for us to win games. We're going to do that, but we're also going to lose games. We're going to do that. But how do we respond to both? You know, do we improve on the outings? And so it's just important that we continue to elevate our mindset, how we treat the young men that we bring in, because when it's all said and done, especially in this NIL world and transfer portal and all the different things, people just want to be loved. Just point blank. You know, you show them love. Like I tell them, we won't be able to give you the biggest bag, but we can have the biggest impact on your life. And that's our goal as a program, is to be able to give them that experience and opportunity to be able to grow as a young man.
Next question comes from Matt.
Luke, what are you looking to see improved from your team coming from the Alabama expedition to this one? And Charlie, same thing for you. You guys played your first expedition game last night. What did you kind of see in that, and where are you looking to improve?
Yeah, Charlie's 1-0, I'm 0-1, so hopefully we can even that out. No, Charlie said it with his comments. This is a great opportunity at this point in the season and all throughout the season, especially in your non-conference, to learn from your mistakes. And we made a ton of them against Alabama. I know a lot of people were pleased that we competed against the top 15 team the way we did. I was not as happy after that game because I felt like we gave the game away. And I think as a competitor, it was a great opportunity for all of our guys to learn from our mistakes and what goes into winning. It's not just about scoring the ball, right? You play the game, 98% of the game is played without the basketball. And so all those little things that go into winning on both sides, on defense and on offense, we're looking to clean up. And it'll be no different in our exhibition against FAMU. It'll be no different in our non-conference schedule. I think every opportunity you get on the court is a great experience to compete at the highest level, learn what goes into winning, and then correct those areas where you're failing at.
For us, it was just good to have people in the building playing against someone else and getting that on film for us to be able to watch so that we can improve upon what we want to be able to do long term. And as Luke mentioned, you know, every game has a life of its own. You know, you have to make decisions, and then there are going to be choices that they make, players make, coaches make, that we can learn from. And last night, you know, against Edward Waters, our guys, we did what we wanted to do, which was, you know, extreme pressure to get them uncomfortable, but we were able to also shoot the ball at a high clip, which was something that we do a lot of. Luke does, I'm sure they do the same thing, but we were able to shoot it at a high clip. And so I was just proud to see the guys come out and compete at a high level and do it over the course of 40 minutes.
Ryan, in the back.
For both of you guys, obviously, crossing the century mark in your first exhibition games, this is obviously a big thing for the community, but also for both of you. How big of an opportunity is this to show the Tallahassee community, hey, there's going to be a really good product, especially offensively at the Cup and the Lawson Center this year?
Well, hopefully we can shoot it as well as we did that night. I'm sure.
I don't hope that.
Luke I don't want it to happen. But like I said, every game has its own life. You know, you have to go out and execute, and there are things that you can't plan for. You prepare for, but you can't plan because it's actually happening during the course of the game. But you have to make adjustments, and that's on both sides. But just to be able to have opportunity to be in the game and play the game will be a great blessing for us. And we'll, like I said, we'll learn and we'll show up and compete. But at the end of the day, Luke and I want the same thing, which is to win. But when it comes down to it, whoever executes the best is going to win the game. But at the end, it's going to be a win for not just our programs, but the city as well.
I told this story at a boosters event before football had the Taj Mahal behind us. They used to come in when they got rained out and use our practice facility to run their routes. And we had just finished up practice. The football guys were coming in, and I took the elevator with Bobby Bowden. It was just me and him. I was nervous. I told him my dad was a practice player for him for one season. He acted like he remembered. He had no idea who it was. And I just asked him, I said, eventually I want to get into coaching. You know, do you have any advice for me? And he grabbed my shoulder like he does. And he said, son, all you got to do is score one more point than the opponent. You'll be all right. And I took that with me. It doesn't matter whether you score 150 points or you win 41-40. Either way, we're trying to do whatever it takes to win the game, right? Now, by design, our team is built to have a pretty powerful offense. I'm hoping that we can continue what we started against Alabama, no matter who the opponent is, whether it's FAM or Duke or North Carolina. We're going to try to play fast and play an efficient brand of basketball. And I think that will lead to some excitement for fans to come watch us play. And I know Charlie and I know some of his staff, you know, Jared Lazarus, some of his younger coaches were at Florida State. And I know those guys really know the game, you know, and they're going to help Charlie. And Charlie's won everywhere he's gone, whether it be coaching in high school, whether it be his professional career as a student athlete. So I know he's going to find a way to put together an exciting product where eventually FAMU's community will want to come support him, and hopefully every game to sell out, and they're having a blast, win, lose, or draw.
And just piggyback on Luke, I haven't won everywhere I've gone.
Where do you lose? We don't need to talk about it.
I lost as a football coach, but never mind.
No one remembers that, Charlie.
Next question comes from Bob Ferrante.
Maybe for both coaches, what advice have you given to each other as first-time college head coaches? And if not, what would you share to each other right now about the season ahead or what you've learned in these 6-7 months?
Well, I reached out to Luke when I got the job to just try to get some best practices on different things that he's learned, he's done over the course of, you know, just coaching in the NBA. And I mean, I've done that with quite a few people, that relationships that I have. And he's been very open about just helping me with best practices, things that he's learned in his NBA coaching career. And, you know, we're in the same boat, but he's, you know, had some experience before I got the opportunity. So just working to, you know, pick his brain in that area. But I've been blessed to have, as mentioned, some great coaches that have coached in college, high school as well, that's helping me along the way, especially last night, you know, being my first college game, a little different. But having Coach Lazarus, Coach Lewis, and Granger, and even Sebastian Aguilar there to kind of help with the programming of it all. But I'm grateful that we have exhibition.
Yeah, just I think as coaches, we're always trying to learn, and everyone has a different background, different experiences, different way to do things. Charlie's been a good sounding board, obviously being a pillar in this community, both athletically and with what he's doing with his foundation. He knows a lot of people, and a lot of people respect him. And I just think our relationship has continued to grow and will continue to grow as we're both going through, you know, our individual struggles and our individual successes. And I think we'll lean on each other throughout the season. And like I said, his staff is full of people that I have relationships with, and vice versa. You know, Jared Lazarus, like we spoke about, was a graduate assistant when I played here. Coach Granger has been at McClay for a long time, has coached a lot of guys that I'm very close with. And we bump into each other in the community all the time. And I just think it's such a unique and cool relationship that our staffs have with each other. And I think that communication will continue to flow.
Next question comes from I can ask it. Coach Loucks, what is your first memory of Charlie and your greatest memory of Charlie?
Oh, that's tough. First memory, I think I just turned 4 years old, maybe 3. It was that 1993 season. It was like literally one of my first life memories. We were watching a football game at my grandfather's house, and my pops, both of his brothers, my uncles, all of us cousins were at my grandfather's house, and I just remember Florida State scoring. I don't know if you threw it, if you ran it, or if someone else scored it, but I remember that touchdown, and we're all doing the Seminole chop in my grandfather's house. And it still to this day gives me chills, because it was like a foundation for my sports fandom of Florida State. That was one of the first times I've ever remembered. I don't remember Charlie specifically, but I know he was a quarterback on that team. The fondest memory of Charlie is him playing for the Knicks in the finals, and I know he was a role player on that team. But watching those games in that era of the NBA as a young kid coming up, it solidified, the MJ and all those guys that really changed the course of the NBA. But to see Charlie, someone who I'd watched for years, on that stage as a child was one of the coolest experiences. And now getting to have a real relationship with him and sit next to him and coach across town, I think is the coolest thing in the world.
Charlie, if you remember the 2012 ACC championship, when Coach Loucks led Florida State to its first ACC championship, what do you remember about that?
Well, Luke was the point guard that kind of led the team, which is kind of par for the course for him leading FSU now as the men's basketball coach. And his leadership was very evident on that team. That's one of the things I remember. Number 4, being able to, play at a high level. He wasn't going to wow you with a lot of different things, but what he did do was bring the team together and making sure that everything worked. And that's what most point guards do. And so I just remember his presence being on that team in that way. And it just goes back to what a point guard looks like. And when you have a great group around you, you can achieve great things. And so it was good to be able to see FSU win the ACC championship that year. And I'm not sure what happened after that.
I turned the ball over too much and we lost to go to Sweet 16, but that happens.
Sweet 16.
Are there any more questions for our 2 coaches today? You guys can just remember the ticket link is in both of those releases right there. If you can use that and get that out. Both Florida State students and FAMU students will be admitted free to the game with their student ID. And please come early as we honor Coach Ward and put his jersey up in the rafters.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.